April 29th, 2010. Steve Jobs posts a letter on Apple's website. No press conference, no product announcement, just text. The letter is called Thoughts on Flash. It explains, politely but with complete finality, why Flash will never run on the iPhone or the iPad. At the time, Flash ran on 98% of all computers connected to the internet. It powered YouTube. It powered online games. It powered most of the interactive web. It was the most widely distributed software in history. Within a decade, it was gone. Completely. Adobe blocked it from running entirely on January 12, 2021. One letter. 10 years. The most dominant software platform on Earth erased. Flash started in 1996 as a tool called Future Splash Animator, built by a small company called Future Wave. Originally designed for pen-based computers, a market that was already dying when they shipped it, Future Wave pivoted to the web. The insight was simple. The Internet of 1996 was text and static images. Dial-up connections were slow. Flash could create vector animations that were tiny in file size and looked sharp at any scale. You could make something move on a web page without the user waiting minutes to load it. Microsoft used Future Splash on MSN. Disney used it. Within months, Macromedia bought the company and renamed the product Flash. By 2000, Flash added ActionScript, a full programming language. Now Flash wasn't just animation, it was games, video players, entire applications running inside a browser. Web developers built things in Flash that HTML simply couldn't do. In 2005, YouTube launched. They chose Flash as their video player. That year, Flash was installed on 98% of internet-connected computers. Adobe bought Macromedia for $3.4 billion, and analysts attributed roughly $3 billion of that valuation to Flash alone. Flash had a problem. Several, actually, and they had been there for years before Jobs wrote his letter. Security was catastrophic. Flash accumulated over 1,000 documented critical vulnerabilities during its lifetime. It was consistently ranked among the most exploited pieces of software in the world. Performance was brutal. Flash ran in software, not hardware. On laptops, it drained batteries in hours. The Flash plugin crash was so common it became a cultural reference. On mobile, it simply didn't work. Adobe had promised a mobile version for years. Smartphone in early 2009, they said. Second half of 2009, first half of 2010. Every deadline slipped. When Android finally shipped Flash, reviewers described the experience as ranging from poor to unusable. Jobs knew all of this. So did Adobe. The difference is that Jobs decided to cut Flash off entirely rather than wait for Adobe to fix it. Jobs' letter made 6 arguments. Flash was proprietary. It had security problems. It killed battery life. It wasn't built for touch. Adobe was slow. And HTML5 could do everything Flash did, natively without a plugin. Adobe's CEO called it an attack. He said Jobs was using Flash as a smokescreen to protect App Store revenue from web-based apps. That argument wasn't wrong. But the technical arguments were also largely correct, which made the business motive harder to attack. What the letter actually did was give developers permission to stop caring about Flash. When the iPhone was the most important mobile platform in the world, not supported on iPhone was a death sentence for any technology. Web developers started building in HTML5. Designers stopped using Flash. Flash usage on websites fell from 80% in 2011 to under 7% by 2017. In July 2017, Adobe announced it would discontinue Flash entirely by the end of 2020. Flash didn't die because it was bad. It died because the platform it ran on, the desktop browser, stopped being the platform that mattered. Mobile was the future, and Flash couldn't run on mobile. Jobs accelerated that death by years, but he didn't cause it. Flash's problems were real. HTML5 was coming regardless. The iPhone just made it happen faster and in public, with a letter everyone could read. The web Flash built, interactive, animated, multimedia, still exists. It just runs on different code now. HTML5, CSS, JavaScript. Standards anyone can use without a plugin, without a security hole, without a battery drain. Flash taught the web what it wanted to be, then it got out of the way.